All right. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. One's going to be, we're going to start off with some questions. So if you have any questions about what we've done so far, or what you think you need to do, I want to start there. We'll go from questions and hop into, how to do the engineering design process. So what it looks like when we're trying to design for a problem or to create a solution. And then I'm going to tell you kind of how to post your projects, and it'll be kind of like a little web page section. It's super simple, don't worry, where you can post questions. I can post some responses, and that way, since we only meet twice a week, you'll be able to kind of do some more back and forth with me if you have any questions about stuff in the future. So to start things off, are there any questions? Is everybody good to go? Jason, what's up? I see Jason and Mac. Or not Jason, sorry, Josiah. I hear under your dad's computer. Oh no. I think I lost everybody for a second. We all back? Cool. All right, so Josiah, you had a question?
Yes. What happens if we're already finished?
You were building a cardboard boat, correct?
Yes, and all I need to do is paddles.
Really? Do you have it nearby?
Yes, it's right here.
Oh man. Okay. All right, so we'll definitely look at like the design process as we have some iterations, right? We'll talk about how to go from our first design to subsequent designs. Have you tested yours out yet, Josiah?
No, we're going to probably do that this week though.
Okay.
I mean next week.
All right, very cool. All right, good start though. Mac, what's up?
My question is, how did it's for Josiah. How did you waterproof your boat?
Great
A
question.
tarp. I just used a tarp.
Okay.
So you just put a tarp around your boat.
Yeah, and duct taped it.
Okay,
Cool.
I hope that tarp is waterproof and there's no cracks in it.
That's
There's
awesome,
not.
Josiah. I can't wait to see you post kind of how it works out. But Parker or whoever's under Parker. I'm still learning names and faces. So whoever's under the Parker, just let your hand go up. You're muted. There you go.
Okay. Did you use duct tape or do you have flex tape? Because that would be a lot better.
A little bit of both.
Okay, use that. Do you all have something like a floating device?
Yeah, I already attached that.
A pontoon thingy?
Well, not really. It's basically just a lot of foam.
Is it wide?
Yeah.
You might want to, since your boat might wobble over, you might want to put like things that go across, and there might be like a pool noodle sticking down. So if it tips, it will just keep tipping back and forth until it's steady.
This is good feedback, guys. So actually, when we get
and
on
that foam is very sturdy. I've stood on a foam platform before and fished with a 20-something-year-old adult, both of us on there at the same time with big plastic cover sections on top, 4 of them, and it held up very well. So your boat's definitely going to float if there are no leaks.
Solid, guys. So we're going to talk about how to leave like really good feedback on each other's pages here in a second. Are there any more questions about what we're doing? So we've had a lot of good questions about boats and being finished and stuff. Any other questions? Mac?
I tried using one of my canary knives to do what you did to make the cardboard boat a lot easier, but it ended up just cutting off part of the cover of the triangles.
But yeah, slow is fast, right? Slow is good. Gonna move slowly as you're cutting. But yeah, slower you go, probably the more detail you can put into it. All right.
Oh yeah. Are there still any bags left at central office? Because I haven't gotten mine yet.
Yes, there are still bags. There should be I don't know, 5 or 6 bags left. So if you haven't gotten your hinges and your screws and stuff, then those are available at Central Office. Yeah, just like that.
I have these from home.
I mean, you can use those definitely. These are
These are for my garage door, so I can't.
yeah. These might be something that works out slightly better, but I mean they're made for cardboard. But if you've got other hardware, by all means use it. Okay, so I'm going to share.
One more question.
Yes, sir. Yes, Matt. What's up?
If I got lots of plastic bags and put them along the outside of my cardboard boat and they were tightly sealed, do you think they would hold the water out of it?
One more time, Matt. What was the last part of that question?
If I got a lot of plastic If I got a lot of grocery bags and put them along the outside of my boat and they were sealed tightly, would it keep the water away from the cardboard?
Well, yeah. So your question essentially is, if I add something that's impermeable, like where water can't get through it, and I put it on my boat, will water get to my boat? There's 2 ways to answer that question. All right. So plastic itself is watertight. If you try to, that's why you can hold water inside a plastic bag. However, if you try to get like a Walmart bag and you pour water into it, you'll notice that water finds its way outside of that bag. So those plastic bags are not sealed super well. So if you cover your boat in plastic bags, it might not be completely watertight, but it will work for a while. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If we don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and get started. If you do have a question, go ahead and put your hand up and I'll unmute you real quick. Okay. Ashley, what's up? Hang on a second, Ashley. I don't know why it's not. I'm clicking the unmute button, but it's still muting you. There you go.
I have like an idea and I want to do kind of like more than one thing off of the website.
Okay.
You said kind of go a little big, but don't go overboard. And so
Yeah.
I was going to do like a table and like a lap desk and kind of like a lamp to go with it.
Okay.
So kind of like a little desk set.
Sure.
But I was also wondering, how thick would you make it depending on, because the video says make it a few sheets thick of cardboard. But if I'm going to be using it for like 1 or 2 different things, like my mom really needs like a lap desk right now. And so she's going to have like heavy things on it, like heavy laptops and computers and stuff on it. Would you think about maybe adding more layers onto it?
Actually, that's such a good question. So with cardboard, once you get a couple layers thick, it's more about the structure of the cardboard than the thickness of it. So that's a really good transition to what we're going to talk about today. So the short answer is, once you've got 2 or 3 layers, you should be good. If you have what we call the geometry correct, if you have like the structure of your table or your chair, whatever you're making, if it's got the right shapes in it, it should be strong enough once you have 2 or 3 layers. That's the short answer. The long answer we're going to get into today. And when you make your page, that we'll talk about at the end of all this, when you make your page, any questions like that you have, put them on your page and I can answer them a lot more in depth. All right?
Okay.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody real quick and hop into this. I'm going to share my screen with you all. Okay. Is my screen sharing with you guys? Give me a thumbs up if you can see the cardboard. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna go back to the very beginning here. All right, so I gave you the initial challenge of designing furniture or a game. If you don't have one yet, that's okay, but we need to start moving that direction if you don't have an idea for what we're creating. All right, so be thinking of that today. We talked about being safe with the stuff we're cutting with and putting surfaces down to make sure we're not cutting up or marking any tables or floors, right? And if you don't have cardboard, where to get cardboard. For example, I went out to Costco this week and I got a couple like 4 foot by 4 foot sheets for my project. Maybe a good way to get cardboard is going to places like Walmart, Kroger, Costco, Sam's. If you ever need to access these things when we're not meeting, don't forget the link is down here. It's bit.ly/Wampler Cardboard. All right, so if you ever need anything, check there. And today I'm going to give you one more utility where you can kind of hop on and ask me questions, and we'll keep it all in one spot. All right. We also talked briefly about methods last time. Kerfing, which is cutting along these corrugated lines so that you can bend cardboard really easily. It's a good one. Hot glue. I gave you guys some cardboard screws, and if you don't have the screws and the hinges, then check at central office. I've got some bags made for you guys. And then a lot of the stuff we're doing, in fact, I'll give you an example of my project later. A lot of the construction techniques we'll use are what's called slots and grooves, where you'll cut a slot in one piece of cardboard and kind of groove your next piece into it. So that's how a lot of cardboard construction is done. All right, but today's main focus is going to be the design process. And this is that way that we solve problems. So when problems pop up either in our lives or right here on this cardboard project, it's a good way to kind of set up your thoughts so that anytime you run into any problem, you can kind of go through a process of here's how I solve a problem, okay? The first step in it is to identify the problem. Now, right now, you might not have a problem. So it might be something simple, like my problem is that I want to create a fun game this summer out of cardboard, okay? For me, the problem that I'm doing is one of my friends is an English teacher and she needs a podium for her classroom, but they can be kind of expensive. So she wanted one that she could tear down pretty quickly that was lightweight and cheap. And so I'm gonna make her a cardboard podium. So the problem that I'm trying to do is how do I create a podium that is lightweight, that is cheap, and that can pack down easily. The next step is to go into explore your options. So figure out kind of what others who have had these problems have done. So it's a good way to start on somebody else's foundation. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can kind of see what they've done and then add on your changes to it. So I'll show you some examples of that later. The next thing you'll do is you'll design. So I've figured out what my problem is. I've looked at what other people have done, and now I'm going to figure out how do I solve for my particular problem. All right, and then you'll create your solution. You'll build it. You'll test it out, and then you'll try to figure out, are there any more problems? So as I've made it and I've built it, are there any things that I need to fine tune? And once you've fine tuned it, you've made it better, you go back to the design process, kind of keep going in circles until you get to the best possible design solution for your problems, okay? So in a nutshell, that's the design process or the problem solving process, how when you have a problem, you kind of go about solving it in a way that kind of gives you some confidence. You don't feel like, oh my goodness, I've got this problem, I don't know how to fix it. You can start thinking about, all right, I've got some solutions. All right, so like I said, for problems for me, my friend wants a podium for her classroom. I've got to figure out how to get a lightweight, easy to build podium, okay? As I explore, I'm gonna look around for what others have done, and I'll show you one that I found that I think is pretty good that I'd like to use. I'm gonna make a few modifications maybe, but I'm gonna follow kind of what others have done. So I'll make my design, I'll create it, I'll try it out, and I'll kind of make it better as we move through it, okay? So that is, and the reason why I gave you links to these slides is because I want you guys to get familiar and comfortable with the design process. I might see some of you guys at MCMS, and we talk about the design process or the problem-solving process a lot. And if you have a CTE teacher or really any teacher in general, they probably should be giving you some guidance on how to solve problems and not feel like you're overwhelmed by them, okay? The next step I want to do is kind of hop into what we're going to do as we walk through this problem-solving process together, all right? So that would be, and these links will all be on the slides I just gave you, okay? So the ones you're looking at on the screen, where I said earlier, right there, here's your link. If you need to write it down, all the links will be on here. So think of this as like your fort. If you're not ever sure like where anything is, these slides you can come back to and find all the links that you need, okay? Or if you really get stuck, have your parents email me and I'll get the links out to you. The next thing that I'm gonna put a link onto these slides for is something called Padlet. Now, have any of you guys ever used Padlet? Raise your hand if you have. Padlet. Okay. Okay. Annie, was that your hand up or you're just holding your hand up? Padlet? Okay. All right. So then this will be new. That's cool. All right. So on Padlet, think of it like, who's got like a cork board at home where you put little notes onto a cork board with little pins? You know what I'm talking about? Getting lots of blank stares. Okay. All right. So think of it like a whiteboard at school where your teachers put stuff on with magnets. All right. So anything that you want to put on there, I'll just double click and now I can put in a note of some kind, or I can put in a link or a picture or a video, maybe a voice recording, a screen recording. I can do a drawing. All of these things that I want to do to share information with you guys, I can just double click on my screen here and it will let me put those things in there. So let's say I wanted to put in, I'm not sure if this is going to work, if it'll take a picture while I'm recording video. Let's find out. No, it looks like it's not going to work. So when I'm not recording a screencast or I'm not doing something for video, it'll let you take video and pictures and all that fun stuff. All right. Now, what I'm putting on here is this is going to be another place to put your work. All right. So let's say Josiah's got his boat ready. All right. And he wants to put his boat on there. The first thing Josiah is going to do is he's going to double click on here. He's going to put Josiah's boat, and he's going to put in a link to his work. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. And don't worry, I'll stop for questions here in a minute. So let's pretend that I'm Josiah. I put Mr. Walter's example on here. So it says, come check out my cardboard podium. Can you all see this on the screen? Thumbs up if you can. Okay. All right, so I've got a link here to my example. And I've got a picture here of what I'm trying to build. I've got my problem listed. My friend needs a podium for her English class. And here, you got the rest of it here. And then the next step was to explore, like, what do cardboard podiums look like that people are currently building? And I've got an example here, but you can see as I click on this example, this particular cardboard podium that I want to build, keep in mind, it's just made out of cardboard, nothing else. It's $195. And I don't want to pay $195 for cardboard. So my challenge right now, what I'm working on for my friend, is to build this cardboard podium based off of these pictures and making a few changes for my friend's classroom. All right, but it'll largely follow this kind of main idea. So I'm gonna go back here. I've done the explore stuff. And if you all remember from our slides, the next step is to design. So if I want to make any changes for me, that's what I'll be doing starting today. So designing, creating, and maybe trying it out are the next steps. Okay, we might not get to make it better because this is a kind of a short camp. It's only 4 meetings. So on Friday, you'll kind of see where I'm at. My plan is to have mine at least at the try it out phase for you guys on Friday. But you all can work on these all summer, right? This is not something you have to stop when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to stop for a second and let you guys breathe a little bit, get a brain break, and ask me any questions you have about Padlet. Mac, what's up? You can unmute yourself.
I think I've used it before, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
It looks like something that I used before that my mom showed us to
Okay.
in school.
Yeah.
My mom said that we've used it in the lab, so I know it.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
answers the question.
Very cool. Any other questions? Okay. So what we're going to work on some today. Oh, Annie, did you have a question? No? Okay. All right. So what we're going to work on today is getting our stuff on here so that you can kind of double click in here and put your information in. That might be something. Normally out of a classroom, we could walk through it together. It's a little bit more odd to do through Zoom. So we'll kind of play around with how we're gonna get this done. But right now, let me put the link to this in the chat. And that way, let's see here. Trying to find the chat. There we go. All right, Parker apparently wants everyone to know 1047. Not sure what that means. Okay, so I'm gonna put the link to this on here and let you guys practice putting your stuff in. And if you're not sure what to do or don't know how to do it, don't worry about it. Don't get upset or don't get anxious. We'll walk through it together. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it in the chat. All right, see if you can click onto this. I don't know with a Chromebook how that works out while you're on Zoom. Might be something you have to do later. I have a PC, so I'm not sure if you can do that. Okay, so I think Mac's got it up. Can everybody else see the link? Can you? No, I'm just kidding. Mac doesn't. When you get onto the chat, can you pull this link up? Thumbs up if you can. Thumbs down if you can't. Okay, mostly thumbs up. All right, cool. So what I would like you to do, let's see here. All right, so I see here that Mac's already in. He's putting his stuff in. Mac id. All right, so if you're on here, if you're able to pull the link up, see if you can do what Mac's doing. See if you can double click on the screen and make a quick entry there. All right, I'm gonna make one quick audible, one quick change real quick. So I've got Parker, Mac, and Keaton on here. I think what might be helpful, do you all see how above your all's posts for all of them, it says anonymous? You see that? So if you can, if in class you've done this kind of thing before, see if you can sign in. Should be the upper right-hand corner of your screen, should be a little circle. And it'll ask you to either log in or log out. Try logging in with your Google, your school email account, your Google account. There should even be a button that says log in with Google. So I'm gonna delete these real quick, Mac, Keaton, and Parker. And I'm gonna let you all sign in underneath yourselves. The reason why I'm doing this is because when we log off of this, it won't let you post on your old post. So let's say Sunday, you decide to add something to your post, you won't be able to because the computer won't know who you are. That's what anonymous means. It means I don't know who you are. So if you're not able to, because I know I've got a wide age range here, if you've never signed on something or don't know how to do that, I'm gonna make a video for you guys and your parents so you all can get logged in and make a post, do it step by step. But this way, basically what I was trying to do is I was trying to figure out how to have some constant updates for you guys. So it's not just twice a week. So you can ask whatever questions. And if I find some ideas, I can kind of push those ideas out to you and say, here's something that might help you. So that's why I decided to do that instead of Flipgrid. Got another anonymous on here. Okay, so that's going to be the next step. All right, I'm going to send this information out to your parents via email for how to log on to Padlet and make your posts. It sounds very complex. Trust me, it's not a whole lot, but if it's new to you, it can seem like a lot, and I'll walk you through each step of that. But that's what we're going to do, is post our stuff onto Padlet. All right. Yeah, I'll put this on an email for your parents because that might be best, because I'm seeing a lot of posts on here. Like Annie, awesome. I see you on here. But again, we'll want to get logged in using your Google account. Matt, what's up?
What problem? I went on here and my Zoom page disappeared, and all I have are the top where you can see the other people that are on.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, and when I logged into the Post-it, it took me off our slide, and I can't get back to the Zoom to get back on the Post-it.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it might be best. I'll send an email out so you can kind of walk yourself through this at your own pace and ask questions.
On here it says join Post-it, and then it asks for Post-it URL.
You're on the Zoom.
Mommy, it won't let me get back to the actual page though.
It's okay, and it can be hard. I don't have a Chromebook to practice this on right now. Normally I could do that at school, but I can't get in at the moment.
I'm on a MacBook right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
And now what's on chat has this. No, it hasn't. Never mind. Here we go. Let me see if this will pull back up. Here we go.
All right. Good to know. I've got an anonymous that says A on it. I'm going to go ahead and take that down. Again, if yours says anonymous above your name, it's great that you're on there posting. The only hard part is it won't let you ever modify or change that post. So that might be a problem in the future. We need to make sure you go up to the right-hand corner where it says your account and log in. And then you can, once you're logged in, you can make a post with your name in it. And again, I apologize for the confusion on this. It's easier when we're all in a classroom together. Yes, Mr. Moore.
How do I get to the Padlet?
Oh, it's in the chat. The link for the Padlet. Go into our Zoom chat. Should be in there.
Found it.
Perfect.
You can mute yourself now.
Okay. So Annie, I see you're on a touch screen. Do you have a Chromebook or anything that's not a touch screen? I see Max on here now. Got Keaton. Okay, so while we're still figuring this out, again, if you're confused, you're not sure what to do, don't let that worry you too much. We'll get through it together. I'll make sure you kind of get your stuff on here. Okay. But the idea is, if you look at my example, you can kind of see it's, let's say that I'm going to move Max over here. I'm going to slide it over. Okay, so we're going to have, in a second, we're going to have Max link on here, and then we could have Keaton's up next, and then Annie and whoever else. And what I can do is each day when I get up in the morning, I can check your all's posts, and I can see your current progress and then whatever questions you have. Yes, Mr. Moore, what's up?
I don't have a login.
You don't have a Google account?
Do you?
Does he need to use his school Google account to create a login?
Correct. Yes, I think there's a Google login button, and it should have his school account. If it's his Chromebook, it should have a school Google account.
Oh no, all the Chromebooks are turned in.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah. So if do you know your Google account?
I don't. He always had email problems. Could he just use like my personal email?
Sure. Yeah. If whatever login you can use. All I'm
Okay.
trying to do is get their stuff on here so I can kind of do some more constant updates.
Okay, so should he be doing this along with you right now, or just watching your screen right now?
Either or, because it's more complex than I expected.
Okay.
So if he wants to follow along, he can. I'm going to send out an email, maybe do like a YouTube video, kind of walks through
Okay.
step by
Or step
step.
by step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I'll just tell him to watch what you're doing
okay.
then.
Sure. Yeah. So guys, I can see we've got Keaton and Mac are logged in. Parker, I see you on here. We're going to try to get it so that we're logged in. And I know it sounds silly that I'm trying to insist that we log in, but like I said, the problem if we're not logged in, if it says anonymous above your name, is just simply that later on when you want to add something to it, the computer won't let you. It'll say, I don't know who you are, you're anonymous. I'm not going to let you post on this, which is frustrating. But the reason why the computer does that is so that somebody can't act like somebody else and then post on their stuff, if that makes sense. So like, let's say I wanted to mess with Annie or something, right? And I popped on there and decided to leave a picture of a turtle instead of a cardboard something, right? I can't do that because I'm not Annie. It'll say, nope, you're not, you can't do that. But if it's anonymous, it won't know, right? So we want to make sure we're logged in. So if you're unable, like I was just saying, I'm gonna leave a video for how to do this so we can get this done. But I do want to have our stuff on here just so I can make some more constant updates. And I've been finding a lot of really cool design ideas. So I saw some, for example, I saw some really cool boats that people were working on. And so I was thinking of Mac and Josiah because they're both doing boats. And I wanted to share that with them, but it was kind of hard to get that information out. So I thought this might make it a little easier to share stuff and to ask questions. All right. So once you have that video, I'll send it out today. What I would like from you guys is to get logged in and to put all the stuff in for you. Okay. All right. Sorry for the confusion. Everybody with me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right, cool. So roughly here's how it's going to go, guys. You're going to have your example, just like I've got mine here. You're going to link your stuff. So if I click on this, it'll take me to another Padlet. And on this, you're going to put whatever you like. Now, what I've done is I've put a picture of what I'm going to build. I've identified what my problem is, and I've put in here kind of what I'm doing for my exploration, like what I've learned so far about how to build a podium. Now, as I move through that design process, as I move through how to solve problems, I'm going to share some pictures maybe of my design. I'm going to put maybe some pictures of my creating. But all of this is geared towards you putting all of your progress on there and asking whatever questions you want to ask. All right. And that way, when I hop on, what I'm going to do is basically just daily, when I get up, check your all's progress and offer some feedback that would be helpful. Okay. Because the whole thing, my whole role in this is to encourage you guys and assist you as much as possible. Remember, this is not a school assignment. Okay. I'm not assigning a grade to this. I'm just here to help you learn something fun. All right. So whatever you're trying to build, I want to help you build it as good as possible, right? But the best way for me to kind of keep up with everybody is if we put our stuff on here and post our information. The only downside is I didn't realize how complex this would be via Zoom. All right. Last thing for today is to offer feedback. I don't mind. In fact, I encourage you guys to leave feedback on each other's. What do you all think would be some good ideas for feedback? Like, what are some good things to keep in mind? Anybody? Does anybody know how to leave good feedback for Mac? What's up? You're muted, bud.
A good way to leave feedback would be like go on and say on theirs like if it's Google Slides, say leave a note or whatever it says, and list what's good about it and what needs improvement, or either go down to a section and say let me think, feedback from, and then you, and then type in your feedback.
Yeah.
Will they be able to read it, delete it after they use it, and then boom.
Okay. Yeah, so can you all see my screen? Can you all still see the Padlet on here? Yeah? No. All right, let's see what we're looking at here then. Okay. Now can you all see my screen? My Padlet? Okay. So I'm going to leave some feedback here. Why don't you all tell me if it's good feedback or not? All right. Can you all read this at all? Yeah, okay. My goodness. All right. So it says, I looked at this. It looks pretty awesome. How are you planning on making it different? Would that be positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. What if I put that? What if I put this is terrible? It looks like you aren't even trying.
That's negative.
I think so too. All right. So when you're giving feedback to somebody, you want to keep in mind that they've been working hard on this. So even if you think, you know what, this isn't that great, there are nice ways to say it that are helpful, and there are ways that are not so helpful. Okay. So when you're leaving feedback for somebody, keep in mind that it's a real person with feelings. Sometimes when we're online, we just put a comment without thinking about the fact that the person on the other screen is a person. Okay. So if you have some constructive feedback, it doesn't have to be, I think this is the best project ever. It might not be. But if you have feedback for, hey, this is a cool looking boat. What if you did blah, 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 right? That would be a lot better received than saying, this boat looks like it's going to sink. This is terrible, right? That's not helpful because that doesn't help the person kind of solve the problem or even want to, because now they feel bad, right? So when you're leaving feedback, again, be very careful about what you're saying. I'll be on here monitoring these, making sure we're all kind of on the up and up, but you guys seem like you all know how to leave good feedback. And if you don't, I'll definitely help you out. But that is the stuff. I'm sorry today was a lot of me talking. Let me leave you guys with my expectations for getting this part done, okay? When I see you all next time, what I'd like to have done is watch the YouTube video I sent out to your parents in their emails, and I want you to put a post with your current progress, okay? So you can see here, it says Mr. Wampler's example. I'd like to have you have your name with your example, all right? Give me a thumbs up if you understand what I said. All right, so before Monday, I'd like to see you guys have a post on here with your stuff. And if that is scary to you, you're not sure what to do, don't worry, I'll walk you through each step of the process. Yes, Mac?
There is a slight problem with the Monday deadline for me.
Sure,
Because
what's
I'm
up?
going to my grandparents this weekend, and I might not have time to really get the stuff set up. Did how when I go there, I don't have my school computer, and the only computer I have doesn't have any of the data on here. Well, I
Yeah.
have another one too, which is this one, but it's pretty old, and I don't even think that Post-it would work on this.
Okay, so Mac, if you're
My
gonna
mom's
be,
computer normally stays here, did how she needs to use it for work, even though school's ended.
yeah. All right, so Mac, if you're gonna be with your grandparents, I think you should be with your family. It's summertime, enjoy it. This is, again, I'm not assigning a grade to this. I just wanna help you guys build something cool. So if you're with them, be with them, and then we'll update it, you know, Tuesday or something, okay?
Alright.
Will you have time today at all to work on it?
Depends on when they get here, but I have started work on it. The main problem is I'm trying to get through this, so I'll have like a little. I need something to hold up the front of the speedboat for when it curves
Yeah.
to make sure that it doesn't flatten out in the curve. And I'm cutting this right here all the way around so I can use it to hold it there.
Okay. So I'm going to put up the how-to video for this right after. I'm going to work on it as soon as we get off of here. And I'll put it out hopefully within the next hour or so. If you're able to get it done today, that might be a great thing before they get here, so we can all talk about stuff on Monday. But if not, don't let that burden you. Don't freak out about it. We'll get it fixed. Okay?
I'm not gonna be here either. I'm leaving today to go to my aunt's.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, we'll definitely love to have you, but I'm gonna make I will send out this video as well as the how-to video to your parents via email, so you can stay up to date even if you're not with us. Okay. We'll get you next time.
I'm going to my grandparents too tomorrow, but I can still work because I can bring this Chromebook there. They have good internet,
Perfect.
and I can bring all my cardboard there and stuff, so I can work.
Awesome. All right. Any more questions, guys? Okay. So for those of you who are like me and forget things pretty easily, what I'd like to have us done or doing before next time is to hop on the Padlet and to leave a post with all your questions and stuff on there. Okay. But I will make a video for how to do that so you can do it on your own time this weekend. Cool beans? Awesome. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have on there. Next time we'll talk on Zoom. We'll be 10:30 on Monday if you can make it. And if not, we'll just keep communicating via email. All right, guys? All right. If you have any more questions for me that you didn't want to share with the group, I'm going to stay on here for a couple minutes. Otherwise, I will see you guys Monday.